Now, some sad news that I'm just reading here, that the entertainer Ronnie Corbett has died at the age of 85. A very brief statement has been released by his publicist saying that he died today at the age of 85. He was surrounded by his family. And I'm just reading a little more about Ronnie Corbett's life as we hear news of his passing. He was the shortest commissioned officer in the RAF during his national service, having been born Ronald Balfour Corbett in Edinburgh in December 1930. In terms of his roles on the screen, both small and large, he began playing schoolboy roles in films. He made regular appearances on early editions of the BBC children's series Crackerjack. And as far as working with Ronnie Barker is concerned, for which of course he will be widely remembered, he first did that on The Frost Report, both appearing with John Cleese, of course, in that famous class sketch when the respective heights of the participants were so significant in what was put on screen. As for the two Ronnies, well, the first edition of that programme went out back in 1971. That series then ran for 16 years. And at various points it attracted audiences of more than 18 million. He then appeared solo in his own sitcom, Sorry, in which you'll recall he played the hapless librarian Timothy Lumsden. He then appeared in a number of feature films as well, including No Sex Please, We're British. And he was also a keen golfer, and he often played with the rock star Alice Cooper. Of course, others will recall that he did take part in a number of comedies of recent times when he effectively paired up with the modern comedians of today and actually made play of the fact that he was very much of his era and they were very much of theirs, and yet still what went out on screen and on stage worked exceptionally well. So if you're just joining us, as you can see, news on screen, that Ronnie Corbett has died at the age of 85. We just had that brief piece of information courtesy of his publicist, that entertainer Ronnie Corbett died today aged 85, surrounded by his family, his publicist said. We'll continue to reflect on his life in the next few moments. I'm told that Nick Hyam is going to be joining me fairly shortly to reflect on Ronnie Corbett's life. Born in Edinburgh in December 1930. I think we can now reflect on Ronnie Corbett's life in this film. Here we go.
I look down on him because I am upper class. I look up to him because he is upper class. But I look down on him because he is lower class. I am middle class.
I know my place. I look up to them both, but I don't look up to him.
By the time he recorded that famous sketch for The Frost Report with John Cleese and Ronnie Barker, Ronnie Corbett was already an established comic. He grew up in Edinburgh, the son of a baker. Despite his small size, he was just 5 foot, he became an RAF officer before branching into showbiz.
Come to me, my little sugar plum. Sugar plum's a fairy. Any question?
His first big break came in cabaret with the drag artist Danny LaRue. Television followed, and then films, including the James Bond spoof Casino Royale.
Now, I will have to kill you. What are you doing to me? What?
But it was the two Ronnies with Ronnie Barker that really made his name. For 15 years, the pair brought gentle, genial comedy into the nation's living rooms.
Your chosen subject was answering questions before they were asked. This time, you have chosen to answer the question before last each time. Is that correct?
Charlie Smithers.
And your time starts now. What is paleontology?
Yes, absolutely correct.
What's the name of the directory that lists members of the peerage?
A study of old fossils.
Correct. Who are Len Murray and Sir Geoffrey Howe?
Burke's.
When they reunited for a royal variety show, years after the two Ronnies came to an end, it was clear how much they'd been appreciated. Ronnie Corbett's particular contribution, the monologues he delivered to camera from an easy chair, often including jokes about his own height.
Name, Ronald Goliath Corbett.
Perhaps it was that short stature that gave him the drive to succeed.
There was a bit of something in me that said, you know, had a bit of get up and show 'em sort of thing, and I think that is absolutely related to my height, my physique. So I would be without it. I would have gone as what I would have been if I'd been, you know, average height. It wouldn't have been me.
Nick Hyam reflecting on the life and career of Ronnie Corbett, whose death has been announced by his publicist in the last few moments. He died today at the age of 85, we're told, surrounded by his family. A man who, as Nick Hyam was saying there a moment ago, has been one of the mainstays of British television for so many decades, first appearing on Crackerjack. We saw that excerpt from the Frost Report there with Ronnie Barker and John Cleese. 16 years of the two Ronnies, often playing to audiences of between 18 and 20 million. Sorry, feature films. Really, there wasn't a great deal that Ronnie Corbett didn't do on television over the years. And obviously, more reflections to come on Ronnie Corbett's life and career in the coming hour.